Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the Church Communications Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Daryl Girardier, and this is Katie Allred, and we're together in the same place doing the podcast.
I know. It'll be one of the few times.
It will now be one of the few times. Now
we
that
can talk about it.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast, have we?
No, we didn't talk about it. No, we didn't.
Let's get it out there. What is going on in Katie Allred's life?
I'm becoming a professor and starting a marketing agency for small churches and nonprofits through the University of Mobile.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah, moving 7.5 hours away.
Yes, you are.
It's going to be great.
Yes, you are. So you got to find a house.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Got to sell your house.
Got to sell it.
Yeah.
I already did. It's already under contract.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Check that out.
That's already a dunner. So.
It's a dunner.
Yeah.
While Alabama is fully kicking in. So when do you start there? Like this fall?
Me teaching higher education and saying dunner. I can't wait. Like the kids are gonna love me. Who cares?
They're gonna love you. Now, do you go down there in August?
Yeah.
I start
August 13th.
So you start teaching the fall semester.
Yes.
Well, there we go. So there you go, folks. So Katie is leaving, not the group, but she's leaving her job here, which, as I posted yesterday in the group, means we have an opening for somebody who wants to replace her. So she's got some big shoes that you need to fill.
Who knows?
Who knows? It could be you. So you'll find the link in the post.
It's just a wee child when I came here.
Yes, and so check it out. She's grown so much since she's been here. So anyway, Katie, let's jump into today's stories. I believe we got 4 stories to talk about. And the first one I think is the big one that I think a lot of us are all kind of buzzing about, and that is Instagram TV.
IGTV.
Yeah. So give us a little breakdown on that.
Instagram launched this new, basically like TV app that you can watch Instagram like as a TV chat, like as TV, and it has channels. Yeah. And those channels are people you're already following. Mm-hmm. So they've already like partnered with a bunch of creators to create content that is long form, but essentially you can create content now that is an hour long. It will appear in the regular Instagram feed, but it will also appear on the IGTV app. So it's a whole separate app than Instagram. So it'll appear in Instagram, but it will also appear in this IGTV, which is like a really immersive app experience. I'm going to pull it up. So far, what I found is if you turn on the sound with IGTV, you can't figure out a way to get it off.
I will say this.
So anyways, it looks like this. It's super easy to like go and like look at different things. So that's really handy. Kim Kardashian. Here's Dave Adamson. I think that's more important.
That's more appropriate.
Just watch Dave. That's who you should follow. Aussie Dave. He will tell you about Jesus. So anyway, I'm not following Kim Kardashian. She must have partnered with Instagram.
That is true.
So yeah, it's just a real immersive experience, which is really handy. I don't know. It's nice. There's Jennifer Gardner.
So let me ask some questions here because I was diving into this because I think all of us are going to ask the question. Okay, so how do we use this for our churches? Okay.
Yeah. You could probably put your church service on there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to ask you.
If it's an hour long.
Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea, given the fact it's vertical?
It's so long, and it is only vertical, not horizontal. So I think you should already start thinking about turning your church's feed. Like if you have a multiple camera setup, I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't have a multicam doing vertical at this point.
So you think a tracking shot on the vertical? Okay.
Yeah. But the vertical thing is hard, but you do get more. I mean, honestly, even on Facebook, you'll still get more interaction, more engagement if it's vertical. Yeah,
we do that in post versus
we do that in post, but we do it. Yeah, but we do it in post.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
like we have to edit it and then track him as he walks around, which is much harder, I think, than if we just had a camera that was set up following him vertically.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is you think it's worth it, but you need to go ahead and do the front end work to make your back end work so much easier. In other words, to get the camera to be vertical.
Or just of course you can edit it in post, but then you're editing a 30-minute broadcast. Because I don't know if you would want to do all of worship on there, but I think you could do some worship clips. We already do worship clips, but you could probably do, I guess you can upload a story now that's an hour long, can't you?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is, I think the way I would look at it for me is obviously the first go-to for a lot of people is going to be sermon. I would ask the question, can you put together and treat this like a TV show to a certain degree and do some pre-production and almost think of it like a magazine show. Could you pull together 4 or 5 different things? And how do you take advantage?
The best of Sunday morning.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of that, but how do you take advantage of the vertical format? What are the advantages the vertical format provides? I mean, in some ways, it does provide a little bit more better angle in terms of a person. Like you don't have to the framing of the shot's a little different.
Yeah.
There's some things you can do that with that creatively, and that will push, I think, people to think a little differently. But I think I would look at that content and say, how do you create something that's engaging for, what are you gonna do that's gonna be engaging for somebody to sit there on their phone and watch that for 45 minutes to an hour, or even 20 minutes for that matter?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time believing anybody's gonna watch a vertical format of a church for a whole hour. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I could be wrong. I'll tell you wrong. But I think that if you do like the sermon, or if you do like some clips from worship, then the sermon, like clips from the sermon, that might be.
Yeah, see, like I think for some reason for me, vertical format is wonderful for like a takeover, like where you give somebody, let somebody take over the channel and follow a volunteer for a day. Like to me, for some reason, vertical format I think would be so much more first person-esque, which I think would be really, really cool to do. So that's what I would think you'd want to do is capture that. So Kenny agrees with me, and if Kenny agrees with me in the chat room,
Kenny says it's a perfect volunteer opportunity to record vertical video, but in the service.
Yes. No, and I agree.
So, yeah.
No, now I'll tell you, here's what would be fun to do is have a bunch of people record their point of view of worship and then string all those points of views together into a single video. And then you have vertical.
Christopher here brought up that National Geographic took their Earth show on IGTV, and it's 46 minutes long. People are watching it.
That's true. Remember that, but see, that's the thing. That's a produced TV show where you're probably changing scenes.
Things are changing. Yeah, where you're watching Mike. I mean, I don't know. You're watching a pastor who I'd say our pastor is one of the best communicators in the world, but like just watching a man standing on a stage for 45 minutes or 20 minutes, he only preaches for like 20 minutes, still might be a little less interactive unless we had more shots where it backed up and came forward.
Well, I think one of the other things I think through is who's your target audience. I think if our people already invested in Mike, will they watch it? Sure. But if I know nothing about Brentwood Baptist or I'm somewhat familiar with them, this is an opportunity, I think, to do something a little bit different, to go take them behind the curtain, if you will, and not make it so insider-ish, if that's a word I can use here. So that may be something you could think about. So Instagram TV, it's launched, and I like the fact that anybody can do it. There's not one of these where it's just creators only kind of thing. Like you have to be.
I thought maybe they were going to be like, no, only these certain people who we've already partnered with are going to bring you content on these, and so that was really neat. So if you want to go ahead and see somebody who's doing it really well, just check out Aussie Dave's stuff. Yeah. He's already put out a few. So, all right. So we're going to turn the channel here. Turn the Instagram. Jokes now. Okay. And the question is, should Instagram hashtags be in the post or in the comments?
Yes. So this is a study by a website called Agorapulse. And what they did is they did a study of whether or not it should be in the hashtag, in the post, or in the comments. So they ran
testing against 3 accounts that had multiple followers and found that the Instagram hashtag should be in the post and not in the comments.
Interesting.
Really got me. But it really wasn't like that much different.
Yeah.
Like you got more, what was it? You got more engagement.
It looks like when you put it in the comments, what happens is
you get more comments. You get more profile visits. But if you put but your reach is down.
And your likes are down.
But if you put the hashtags in the post, you get more likes, less comments, less profile visits, but higher reach.
So it looks like what we're saying is there's a trade-off to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do you want exactly? Do you want people to come to visit your profile? Do you want them to comment, or do you want them just to like the post, and do you want to reach more people? And honestly, I think you probably want to reach more people. Yeah. So I think hashtags in the post is probably the right way to do it. And that's kind of strange because I definitely, I don't know, I wasn't an advocate, but it's just so much cleaner to put things in to put the.
To me, when I was putting hashtags in the comments, I felt like I was hacking the system, and I mean that in a good way. Like I felt like that was the end around of like put in the comments because my assumption was Instagram was valuing stuff in the comments more than it was an actual post
And that was
itself.
one of the reasons why we kept using Grum too, was because it would do the first comment for you, and Hootsuite and Buffer still won't do the first comment or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So now that that's true though, and Hootsuite and Instagram both do both do Instagram scheduling.
Yes.
Now natively, it's probably worth just switching everything over to Instagram.
How much longer do you think it's going to be before? Do you think Facebook, Instagram will ever let you schedule your stories?
I don't know. I bet they probably will, because they'll probably see some benefit for it. But it's going to be a while. You know how, it took 5 years for them to let you schedule your posts.
That's true. That's true. Logan asked the question, what if I schedule them in both? What if I do comments, schedule my hashtags in both the comments and the post? Do I get penalized like a duplicate content like you would for, say, Google search?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good question. We don't know.
They don't answer that question here. It does seem like a bit of overkill.
I don't know. Logan, try it out and report back.
Try it out and let us know.
Let us know what happens. Going back to the other thing is the previous question.
Yeah.
I'm asking because I'm starting to see this when Zuckerberg said at F8, where he said stories and Facebook are starting to do this thing where it's starting to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know Instagram, you and I already know firsthand watching people, they're not looking at the feed, they're going through stories.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems to me that I wonder at some point if publishers put pressure on them to figure out ways to do that, or if they're going to hold the line and say, no, we really want this to be spontaneous and instantaneous. We don't want this to be pre-planned. You've dealt with it before, where you had to go out and export a video again to give it the new time and date stamp of today in order to be able to upload it to the Instagram stories. Mm-hmm. So I just wonder if that's coming down the pipe. I actually kind of like the fact that it's not there, because I think it does force you to be in the moment, which is what they're wanting to do. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there you go. All right, story number 3. Story number 3. It's early in the morning. Facebook experimenting with A/B testing for page posts.
Yeah, so not just an ad, just a regular post. Essentially, you can do A/B testing. Apparently, they're experimenting, so not everybody has it quite yet. Mm-hmm. But you will be able to test in segments, 100 segments. Apparently, you can test it in.
So I guess basically what you do is you build audience segments, and then you hit an experimental, actually says experiment setting button that they're rolling out, and then you'll be able to turn around and from the experiment setting button, then turn around and split your stuff between a control group and a test group. Yeah. Which is interesting because, I find it interesting they're rolling this out, but it's not part of they already do A/B testing on their ads. Mm-hmm. So, or you can do A/B testing on the ads for that matter. I'm trying to figure out why they're doing this on page posts when we already know at the end of the day they really want us to pay for the page post. So that's kind of interesting to me they would do this.
Yeah, they've already kind of downplayed pages in general. It was funny because even yesterday, they popped up on my profile as a notification and said, turn your profile into a page or whatever.
Really?
And it's because I've added so many friends lately.
Ah, okay.
And so they're probably thinking, this girl is getting too popular. She needs to slow down. I do have a page though if you want to
Oh my gosh.
But it's so funny. I already have a page. So I was I don't know. What do you want me to do? Because you can only have 5,000 friends.
Right. There's a limit.
Right.
So are you close to hitting 5,000 friends on Facebook? I don't think so.
I have 3,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're all my friends though.
Wow, I have 200 friends, and I kick a lot of people out.
I know you do. Yeah,
I kick a lot of people out.
Somebody messaged me the other day that you kicked them out. They were sad about it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but it's okay. I told them it's gonna be fine.
Tell them it's nothing personal. It genuinely is nothing personal.
I know.
Oh my gosh! There we go.
Daryl has friendship problems.
I
Emotional connections.
I do. I'm not good. That's no. Yeah. All right. Last story. Moving on. Facebook is rolling out privacy education, which let's be honest with you, is a bit ironic if we're just being a little bit honest about this, that Facebook is doing that.
Yeah, so just yesterday in their newsroom, if you're not following newsroom.fb.com, you should definitely be just reading the news there. Put it in your RSS feed or whatever. But essentially, they're announcing that they partnered to help small and medium businesses or churches,
yeah.
whatever,
yeah.
To build privacy into their services. So basically, they're launching this training. So that's going to be great with George Washington University Law School, and you can take it for free. Yeah. And that might help you as you understand as more data regulations are going to come along in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it gets, I think, what spurred it for a lot of it, and they even say that was built in mind with the idea of like stuff like GDPR coming in, and for all of us being a little bit not caught flat-footed per se, but a lot of us going, wait, does this apply to us? We're not quite sure. I mean, we're still asking those questions here at our church. And so this is an attempt to help you understand how your data should be treated, how do you treat that? How do you make sure you maintain standards? And I would imagine you're right, Katie, is probably U.S. law will evolve at some point. I would imagine that, we need to have
just as strict as the EU.
Yeah. Yeah. And which my understanding, by the way, side note, I read a study that because of GDPR, some European companies are losing up to 80% of their email lists because people are not clicking to reconfirm they want to be on the email list. And according to GDPR, which is my understanding, is that you can only email somebody
who's clicked on that,
who's actually clicked on it or actually has bought a product from you. If you just grab you bought an email list, you can't.
Although a lot of people in Europe are actually excited about that. So,
I'm sure they are.
Because because you're getting a lot less spam, and then you can go back and decide really what you want. So it's like a start over, really. It's like a do-over.
It totally is a do-over. Unless you're a marketing company, then you're losing like 80% of your email list.
That's the worst. Yeah.
Yes.
So, because I know my friend Catherine, who's from the UK, we talked about it when we wanted to create missions, and she was actually like really happy that she was like, I'm probably gonna get less email. That's great. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, but if you're a church,
I already use a service like Unroll Me. Like I use it, even though it's stealing my data. Apparently, I could care less. So it's just,
she doesn't care about her data. She does care about her friends.
Yeah, that's so true. I don't one bit, but I do care about my friends. So.
And I care about my data. I don't care about my friends.
Jesus would tell you to care about your friends, not your data. So.
There is probably a lot of truth to that.
Pretty sure there's a biblical mandate.
Oh gosh.
That's cool. Church communications part 1.
If Katie was a Methodist, she'd be a preacher.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, my dad really wanted me to be Methodist.
I believe it.
Here we are. But here we are in the SBC. So anyway, this is such a fun podcast already. Should we just cut it now?
I don't know. This is why I've always dreamed that we should be doing a morning podcast. This is why, because I think we'd be a lot more fun in the morning.
We're much more intact.
We're much more on it. So there we go.
Well, maybe we'll switch it up.
Hey, is there anything you want to lift up?
Anything I want to lift up? I'm listening to Start With Why. I guess I talked about that last week, didn't I? So I'm still listening to it. It's going really well. Just interesting, talking about, why do you do these things rather than what you're selling?
Yeah. I started listening to it last week. I finally got an Audible and got it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic. First off, I like the fact he's reading it.
It's great.
Which he's got a great
I love
voice.
When the author reads the book because the inflection is so much better because you get what they're trying to say.
But when he walks you through that first part of the book and he talks through how businesses go about acquiring customers, the transactional side of business versus the why side of things, and all the tricks of the trade, the rebates,
and manipulation.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
It's funny is I was sitting there thinking, as I'm driving, listening to this, I'm going, how much of we are the church are manipulating people to get them in stuff versus
it's just like the FOMO thing, right? Like fear of missing out. Like we love to do that. Brady loves to talk about that too on his podcast. Like the fear of missing out. We love to say, you don't want to miss this or whatever. And like that's manipulation. But what you should say is like why we're doing this, and that way you're inspired to go and not just because you're manipulated to go. Exactly.
Well, I think his whole deal is that's how you build loyalty.
Right.
You build loyalty by getting people to fully invest in the why.
It's just like Apple, right? So Apple, they didn't come out and say, we're building computers. They said, we're a different company. We think different. We just happen to build computers.
Right.
And so it made people more like inspired to be like, oh, Apple's cool because they're different and da. And so I want to be a part of that cult.
Right. I want to stand in line for 5 hours to get a phone.
I've totally joined the Apple cult recently. Like I bought AirPods.
Yes,
and then I bought an Apple Watch.
You have.
Like I just completely went all in. I got an Apple TV. All of a sudden in like the last 6 months, I didn't like go, like I used to be kind of like very like, I'm going to be hesitant about all these things. Obviously I am because I mean these things came out like 3 years ago.
By the way, I just realized you have a case for your Apple Watch. I didn't realize that you put a
case on
screen protector on it. Okay, so let me ask you this: are you all in like in terms of like even their services? Like, are you using iCloud?
I'm not. Okay, I have iCloud, and
Yes.
I am paying for the 99¢ to back up my photos.
Yeah.
I'm paying like the 99¢ to back up my phone and whatever per month. So I guess I am in a little bit, and then but I'm not using it like I use Dropbox more.
Okay.
Or Google Drive a ton.
Yes.
But then.
See, I'm all off of Google altogether.
You're off of Google?
Yeah, other than the Google Drive that you and I share. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah. So I put everything
Google
on.
Google Drive is so great though. It's so handy.
I have everything on. Well, for work here, it's on OneDrive, but everything else is on. I have some stuff on Dropbox that I have to share with you and a couple other.
Yeah, people. I just hate Microsoft Word so much. Like I love Outlook. That's so funny, right? Like I love the email client.
You do love Outlook. You are a big Outlook person.
Yeah, it's great though. It's like really handy. I can read all my email in one place. Anyway, but like,
other email clients don't let you read your email all in one place.
I mean, I guess, but like this one's really, I don't know. It's handy. It's really nice, especially the iPhone app.
No, the iPhone app is stellar.
It is really great. And the other one's getting better because now you can have Boomerang.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
And built in, that's nice.
I will tell you this. I actually don't mind Microsoft Word anymore. Like
really, I just hate opening it.
I don't mind I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm becoming an old man, and I'm admitting that the Microsoft stuff I'm actually more comfortable with. The Google stuff actually bothers me.
Really, I love editing in Google Drive. Like I love writing in Google Drive, but I have come to like writing in Apple Notes a lot better. You do like your Apple Notes, and that Apple Notes frustrates Apple Notes
me.
I have super gotten into as well. I used to use I tried Evernote or whatever.
Yes.
And I just didn't. I can like put all the files that I was going to put in Evernote in Apple Notes and still search across all my notes.
Yeah, that's true. You can. I will tell you. Apple Notes to me has enough limitations where it's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Evernote, I like. Evernote doesn't talk with anything else really well. OneNote I've been using. OneNote, it to me is just a little like it doesn't do what I need. Apple Notes for me, what Apple Notes serves is the quick note. You and I have a quick conversation. I just jot down a quick note. It's there. I can get in and get out. OneNote can't do that. OneNote, you got to open up a notebook, open a page, section a page. It's
OneNote
really annoying.
is really like cumbersome.
It is.
And like I wish I would like it because it has a lot of great features, but it's just not quite there yet in like simplicity.
A little too heavy on the features.
Yeah, it's like, and then you have to have the notebook saved on your computer somewhere. It's like,
yes, it's a little
weird.
It's a little bit cumbersome.
It's just not the best situation.
No, it is not. No.
Yeah. So
you're lifting up the Simon Sinek book. Start with
right, and apparently the entire Apple ecosystem.
It's really the entire Apple ecosystem as well.
Right.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Well, there we go, folks. So check out that book, Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And also, by the way, just search for him on YouTube and any of his talks. They're fantastic.
Yeah, the TED Talks.
They're really, really good stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep. All right, folks. Thanks for watching this episode or listening. If you're listening to this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe in iTunes or give us a rating. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you could hit the like or share button, we'd love that as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. We hope you guys have we hope this is the best way you can start your day with us.
Right.
So thank you for doing that. And we will talk to you guys soon. And see you around. All right, bye. Where's my mouse?
Where's the end?
Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Seriously, where is it? Where's my mouse?
Okay, I don't know.
Jump across that screen.
Gotta go that way.
There it is.
Ending. Bye. Not end.